Hi Capricorns, if you'd like to come on in and have a seat for some symbolic support, my name is Steph. Earlier we did an ink blot made in your name and essence, and we're going to flip it for perspective possibilities. Feel free to take a screenshot so you can scry on your own time and terms for shapes and symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. As well, Cappies, or fellow Cappies, I should say, we'll add on Tarot and Oracle, and as well we have the Ghost Tube here kicking for any audio additions that may further inspire or irritate. You know the drill. Receive or release freely, of course. All right, Capricorns, if you'd like to open up with me, you're more than welcome to, or you can give it a quick fast forward through. Taking a nice big breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception. Releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of Capricorn. Goats, thank you for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights, and allowing me to be a guest in your aura, our aura, also being a fellow Cappy. All right. I want to note here before I get going, and a pre-shuffle, something extra I have here off to the side is a historical moment card. And your historical moment that came up was Pluto being recategorized. I'll bring this up so you can see it. If you want to take a screenshot, here's also the back if you'd like to take a screenshot so you can further contemplate. But what we have here that may apply to you, Capricorn, is considered the solar system's 9th planet from its discovery in 1930 until 2006. Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet and is the largest member of the population, called the Kuiper Belt.
Christine.
When the International Astronomical Union defined planets in 2006, Pluto was found to be similar to objects outside the solar system. Interesting. So what this is sensing for me is, Capricorns, you might be looking to recategorize. Interesting, okay. Reclassify oneself. How do I want to align? And looking at Pluto, that piece of history. It's like becoming a very large member of your own solar system. And I feel like there's a reassociation that's happening. And this isn't in a sensation to diminish anything. It's actually to enhance certain attributes. So Capricorns, maybe that means something to you. If not, receive or release freely. Okay? So there's clearly the goat.
Demon.
Okay. Interesting. Yes, I was going to say it's like, but there's like machine gun arms. And I mean business. And is there, I don't know. And I just said this to my girlfriend, and it applies right here. So that's interesting. Maybe we were having a prophetic conversation. It's like go gadget goats, and your arms are able to change forms into whatever's needed. And I think there's even some sort of comic book hero or superhero I'm seeing that can do that. Something about but I'm cleaning something up. I'm definitely cleaning something up. Okay. I'm even getting the pen out here, Capricorns. Like, this is happening now. I'm just releasing it. So way in here. I don't know if you can see it. Way in there. There is a conversation and there's a leaning in. And it's like, I'm listening. I don't know, Capricorns, if you're listening to a certain aspect of yourself, because there is 2 characters there. It's like, yeah, okay, this is how we're going to go about it. This is what we'd like to focus on. This is what we'd like to enhance, whatever the case may be. There's a listening and there's a leaning in. It's earnest. I think this is within the self of my own existence.
A long time ago.
And these devilish or demony, they have sickles on the end here. I'm not sure how to spell sickle. That's fine. They have sickles there.
God.
Machete. So it's almost as if As I turn my head, this is how it's feeling, Capricorns. Maybe you're turning your head to different ideas. Somebody wants your attention. They want your attention. Look over here. Look over there, Cappy. And as you're discerning and deciding, some things are tossing back and forth. Some are external. Over here, look over here. Okay? And then there's this, like within your own, like angel and demon kind of concept. Contemplation, right? It's just contemplation. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Yep. Okay. Left brain, right brain. And I'm able to clear things up like each time I do that. I'm sure for some it feels over analytical, but it's almost like when I come to this center space, because my sickles or machete have kind of cleared some brush of, okay, how can I get to the seed of my intention? How can I really say what I want in the most purest form, pure form? Not because all the enhancements or all the embellishments and all
Thank
of
you.
you're welcome, all of the other great things aren't valuable and will be placed upon it. But it's like, in order to decorate the home, you need to buy a home or get an apartment or whatever the case may be, right? So we have all these. It's okay. So somebody also might be planning a wedding, because I'm seeing somebody with a book or something, ideas of planning a wedding, but that person can't necessarily put that into play until all the work to have the relationship with a person, congratulations, or with an idea or with a seed within yourself of saying, this is what I want, looking ahead to 2024 per se, right? But
Lord.
staying in the space of where you are in the here and now. So in order to have have it come to fruition, there is this planning, but I know I can't have the wedding or decorate the house until all the steps are done. And not all in like this grand way. Feels like that's where I'm just like listening, because I want to get to the purest form. Oh, okay. And I know I'm rambling on, but perhaps, it's like, oh, I want to have this room pink, or I want to have this room, white. I want to be minimalist, whatever the case is, or you're planning your wedding. And as you're going through, we have to always like come back to the intention to say, but what is the point? It's celebrating love. It's celebrating, I want my own home, or I want my own space. Even if you're renting a room in a house, that's still your own space, and that's a step. And that means
2.
something. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like I'm macheting through these things, this fog, because I'm seeing like a hog in here. Interesting. It's a hog, hot dog. That's a fun symbol. A hog, hot dog. And it has a spirit skunk with it. And this, like the skunk that comes through like here, and if I follow it down, it's actually creating a bigger boundary. And this makes, it's also a scent, because it's working with this. I'm gonna call it a dog, but I feel like it's one of those hunting dogs. And I think there's different kinds of hunting dogs. Excuse my ignorance. Anyway, there's a one specific kind of dog. And maybe you have a dog that's very loyal to you, but again, this loyalty to your own life. And it's like,
Invisible.
I feel like I am becoming very loyal to what it is that I want for my life, without necessarily holding me to the vision I have, say with the wedding example, when I was 15 or 20, and I had, these ideas for my wedding, but now it's, 10 years later, 5 years later, 20 years later, 50 years later, and those ideas remain, but they're going to be updated. You know what I mean? You might be like, oh, I can't believe I wanted calla lilies, but maybe you still do, maybe you don't. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's going to be an update and an upgrade. But okay, the spirit skunk, it's also a skull of it. So it can go invisible, because like a scent, a smell, when a skunk gives off that scent, the way I'm following it, okay, I just heard it's like a fire extinguisher. It's invisible, the way it moves through. You don't see the smell. So I feel like you're giving off certain scents to other people that are
Why
like,
is he here?
back off. Back off. They also work with it. Your machine gun machete arms that can change forms. There's also a... Okay, I'm trying to decide here as I'm seeing it, but if you know the drill, if you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below, inspiring our interconnected nature. And let me know if you like me adding the written notes on there as well. It's natural for me, but if it's annoying, you let me know. I take no offense. Inevitably, we're all going to do what we're going to do. And thank you for sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, I truly appreciate you. And all of you who do support, share, watch all the way through, you warm my haunted heart. Truly, truly, truly. Okay, thank you. All right, Cappies. We have here quicksand. Ooh, Tempest Nakat. The Black Carriage.
Weak.
And I didn't even look at it, but you know me. If you see, sense, or feel anything, follow that, please. Oh, mimesis. I can't read all those words, but nonetheless, there it is. Time. Do you know what this makes me feel like? I'm sniffing out what's valuable to my time. And I'm going to say it in a very Capricorn way, being a fellow Capricorn, so I'm not going to beat around the bush here. What's worth my time and not a waste? I'm on the trail. I'm on the trail for something. This conversation up here, if I can bring it up, is like this conversation
Sagittarius.
Here. There is something about sage season, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with this whole Pluto being reclassified. See, because something from when you were younger, there was knowledge fed when you were younger. And I just heard the song Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, for whatever that means. Don't cry. You might even be the black sheep. Feel like the black sheep, becoming even more of the black sheep. Do you see how there's this darkness over here? The dark skeleton, and then there's the light skeleton. There's that flower.
Where are
this
we?
Conversation. I want to actually insert this card like that. That's what that makes me feel like. I feel like it's like the backdrop of space is so big, like my shadow, it's so big, but it creates the conditions for me to shine. But I feel like I'm, Okay, rollerblades. I feel as though...
Agreed.
I am reassessing, recategorizing things. And coming into the black carriage, there's only so many things I can nurture authentically at once. And I want to feed myself energy. It feels like Kundalini energy. I want to raise that energy, the serpent spine. Yeah, okay. There's people watching. You have watchers. I don't know if that's in person or online. They're definitely curious. See right
Sinner.
here, there's something going on. Yeah, exactly. This person's going the opposite way than these curious people watching of what you're doing. This person has like a Santa sack. And I feel like I don't want to be dramatic, but if it's your Scry story, it's your Scry story. And if it's not, thank you for holding space for others to receive theirs. They have a Santa sack, but they've stolen something. Like they've taken your Christmas gifts. Like it's the Grinch, but not the Grinch. But here's the thing, there's that skunk skull boundary, the scent. So they've been marked. They've been marked. So you will now know, if you don't already, or you're going to like, as this hound, you're going to sniff things out and you'll be like, oh, okay. And I don't feel like there's a whole lot of emotion to it. I feel like there's some juvenile envy. They're angry about something else.
Bedroom.
And you just have, for whatever reason, they want some of your power, or they see you as having power. But they're like a mountain climber. Okay, so that's it. No, they're not the mountain climber, Cappies. You're the mountain climber. You've done the work, and I don't know if you've ever. I think it's The Price is Right, maybe, because I'm seeing it's like this mountain climber game.
Libra.
Anywho, it's not the point. You've done the work. You've done the mountain climbing in whatever regards or respect this is, and somebody's seeing your now, or whatever this is, your success in your relationship with self, in what you're doing, or what you're not doing as well. What you're not doing anymore. Yeah, because they see you like doing all this juggling. It's like, well, how are they doing this? They've got these two things on the go here, plus they're balancing on this. But they're not seeing something. They didn't see the climb. Maybe they weren't there for the climb. Or there's just hidden things Cappies do behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. There's just a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. So you've already done the mountain climbing. And say it's like you reached a certain point in the mountain and you put your stuff down, and then you wake up the next morning and something's gone. So maybe, something's leaving, or you're leaving something. But nonetheless, they've been marked. I don't know. No apologies. They've just been marked. I don't know how to say that. 5 of Swords and the Fool. Yeah, they've been marked. I'm going to be honest. In many cases, this might feel like a big deal to you, but how I'm feeling it.
Please listen.
Is you're like, okay, well, sweeping you out. If you're causing a conflict, if you're trying to fight me, like the size difference, it's like you can go. No. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm not butchering that, Cappies. But even if this is something within yourself, because even in the Fool, there's a black and white bathing suit, and there's that dog as well. It's like I'm remaining in my balanced harmony of shadow and shine. There's also a red feather there. It's like somebody tried to take a feather out of your cap. But they're doing it from a different place, because you're already like reassessing things. So I'm finding it a little odd, because I feel like it's out of time and out of step.
You are funny.
Thank you. I do amuse myself. It's out of time. Where's that time? Quicksand. Okay. That's the quicksand. So you don't need to worry about it, but maybe you know where this is in relation to. Because, man, like, when I zoom all the way out, I just see guns. Like, and I don't mean, like, guns, but, like, guns. Strong. Strength. There's a reassessing. In this conversation, it's like I'm my own drill sergeant. I might even have a friend or a confidant that is assisting in this.
Why did you come?
It's like a coach or something. And I'm dragging, what could be seen as like something dead, done, and over with. That's how I'm going to say that. And they've got it by the tail and they're dragging it. And it's like, heave, ho. But I'm doing it by myself, or this aspect is doing it by itself, knowing it's not by itself, because the strength that I'm building and like dragging it back I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny. And we're Capricorns. Most of us have some form of dark humor in there because, like, way, way, way in here where this coach is, there is that flower, but I'm seeing it as a heart. Where was it in the other space? Did I imagine it? No, I didn't imagine it. Right on top of this coach's head is
Wednesday.
this same. See, it's like there's the big one and there's this one. There's this one and there's this one. And they each have something growing on their head. And it's like it's growing, 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 growing. They got you like a kickstand. Again, this could be a portion of your psyche. Maybe it's your subcon card that just came out. Interesting. Capricorn, something to consider or inspire. Would you consciously reach out for help or wait for someone to notice that you needed help? Right when we were talking about that kickstand, right here. Your drill sergeant, your
Photo.
Mentor, your confidant, a friend, tough love with compassion, whatever the case may be, your kickstand, they're already helping you. But it's almost like every so often I have to remember this part that's like, you can do it, because I feel like it's a cheerleader, like, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Because whatever it is, you've already dealt with it. It's almost like closing something out. You got to drag it back. You go for the hunt. You do the things out there, but then you still got to bring that back home to enjoy that feast. There's still work to be done. And that's what you're doing. It's like somebody, yes,
Bring it to me.
you're bringing it home. Yes, you're bringing it home. You're bringing it home. Oh my goodness. Something. Maybe you've even been your own drill sergeant. You're like, we're doing this. But there's been a recalibration along the way.
Church.
A reassessing, a reclassification. Maybe this is with people in your life. Maybe this is with your own energies. Because this new beginning is making you feel like, I'm going to do it. And you're kind of looking off to the side like, are you watching? Are you watching? Yes, they're watching. But it's like in that weird moment, it's like, do you want them to be watching or does it matter? Or you're like, well, if they're watching, I'm just letting them know that I know. That's how I'm hearing that. I'm just letting them know that I know. And even if someone thinks they're being a sly Santa Grinch, or maybe you're doing things for yourself, and you're like, and I don't mean like you're doing things for yourself, but maybe, it's like we'll call it the Santa Saboteur. Santa Saboteur. And picking up on that. There's a whole cycle coming through Capricorns. It's like super strength. And when I zoom back out, I'm seeing a big cup. It's like I want to take this cup and then I'm going to feast. And then I'm also seeing the beginning of a butterfly wing. And I will be very honest, it's specifically a monarch butterfly. Closing up messages for Capricorns. Focus on the light. Listening for truths. Last but not least, every journey starts with a single step. Every journey begins with a single step. You're listening for truths, including in and of your own. You're focusing on your light, knowing it's the backdrop of your dark. This is really beautiful. Some of you might be traveling as well, going to visit someplace where you're going to meet other people. Okay, so it's like there's different forms of watchers or different Okay, you know how like in stands, thank
Bedroom.
you. In stands, you might even be dreaming with them and interacting with them in the dream state. And maybe that's what this is. If you're not physically traveling, or that's not going to work out at all. It's not the point. You could be astral traveling and already interacting with these people. And that's why it's in a different layer. Yes. Okay. So that's why it's in a different layer. Because it's like you take this astral portal and you go visit them.
Alien.
You also go and converse about different things that, okay, so it's the leaning in and the listening. From other confidants, other drill sergeants, other mentors, because it's almost like as I have this is how I'm feeling, as I have a drill sergeant that might be helping me in this density, dragging things back that I want, not because dragging things back, but it's like, look at what you're dragging, right? So if you've gone out, you've hunted, whatever it is that you want in life, and now you're bringing it back to feast, great. Or are you dragging things back that you don't actually want? You're like, I'm putting all this work and effort into something that does not serve. For some, you might even live in too big of a
Greetings.
house and you want to come down to a smaller house or something along that lines. Sorry, and to flip back on this whole astral space here, or dimensional space, as you have a guide or somebody with you that could also manifest in somebody or being of your own, you are also somebody else's coach, mentor, cheerleader, and drill sergeant. So there's always, and it's almost like that's this fluidity of knowing who those people are, who those energies are, because sometimes it comes from a tree, sometimes it comes from a glass of water, other times it comes from somebody right there, or your mirror. All right, Capricorns, I hope this served and inspired. Thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights, allowing me to be a guest in your aura. If you want to book a personal, the link is below, iScry.ca. Personals will be open for a few more days before the Christmas holidays begin. Until then, thank you so much. I love you. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.